Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm William.
This is the podcast where we talk about all things tabletop role-playing games.
And today we're talking about Elemental Myrmidons, also known as Elemental Archons.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shout out to
Welcome, adventurers, to the Dungeoncast.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Will.
How you doing?
I think we're at like 50% on starting the episode this way these days.
Yeah. It's true. Just trying to shake things up.
It's too exciting. We're too hype at the beginning.
I like the Year of the Elemental.
I'm very excited to say Myrmidons.
Yeah, Myrmidon's a cool word. I love it when a 4th edition thing gets transferred into 5e. 5e loves to disguise certain 4e elements as its own new and different thing, and definitely not that older thing everyone hated all the time. And this time, all they had to do was change the name.
Okay.
4e introduced armored elemental soldiers known as the Elemental Archons. 5e now calls them Elemental Myrmidons. Either way, a cool name for a cool creature.
Oh, okay. So they're not like mermaids or something like that.
No. Are you familiar with what a Myrmidon is in real life? Myrmidons were, my understanding is, a set of Greek warriors that specialized in jumping off the boats and getting right into the fight.
Oh, cool.
I think Achilles led Myrmidons.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let me just blow the dust off of these middle school memories.
I know, right?
Where I learned about Greek mythology and stuff.
Right. So Elemental Myrmidons, all otherwise known as Elemental Archons, are a variety of elementals created by conjuring and binding elementals into ritually created suits of armors to act as servile weapons of war.
Sick. Okay.
Elemental Myrmidons are of roughly human shape, but typically are slightly larger in size, though they can be even larger as their size is determined by the size of the armor they are bound to. They are typically composed almost entirely of a single substance, be it an element or para-element, though some can be a combination of elements. Only Earth Myrmidons are seen to have legs on their lower body. Others simply have a single large mass of the element they are composed of.
Okay.
Anyone who's played Baldur's Gate 3 into Act 3 probably has a lot of experience with Archons or Myrmidons because you can summon them at higher levels, and they are way worth summoning. So if you have your wizard, you should just summon those motherfuckers because they're great.
Oh, cool. So is this like inhabited armor almost?
It's basically like a
construct of some
You might
kind?
want to pull up an image, but it's kind of like inhabited armor. It still counts as an elemental. It's essentially an elemental given a little bit more form and structure, and then of course given actual weapons and armor, and we're going to get into the creation and stuff.
Yeah, I just saw a bunch of Greek and Roman shit, so
you need to put elemental. You need to put elemental if you
okay, so
yeah.
it's clear that they are elemental.
Yes,
in nature,
very much.
But they are wearing armor. So you're saying they're affixed to these armored pieces.
Indeed, yes.
Ooh, very stylistic.
Very, yeah. So all Myrmidons wear thick armor, typically of plate variety. These not only protect them against attacks, but contain their form and are integral to their being. After some time, they are capable of removing this armor and replacing it with something else, but many never see any need to do so. When a Myrmidon is killed, their armor is all that remains on them.
Yeah.
And it would be really cool if 5e released like some Myrmidon armor magic items that you could give your players, because that'd be awesome.
Oh, like an X, like there was a living creature inside of this piece once.
Yeah, or just like,
put it on your chest.
I just feel like
resist fire.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So in time immemorial, opposing the gods was the original sole purpose of the Archons/Myrmidons. Highly intelligent elemental creatures, Archons served as soldiers and leaders in the armies of the Primordials. When the gods brought their armies of angels, exarchs, and exalted beings to fight the Primordials in the Dawn War, the Primordials responded by creating their own soldiers from the elemental foundations of their home plane.
Okay. We can do that too.
Yes. The Primordials already had great beasts and chaotic elementals that were being used as pure weapons, but they needed more reliable and inventive creatures to populate and lead their armies. Archons were gifted with a degree of cunning not found in other primordial creations. Each Archon is a dangerous opponent, drawing on unrestrained combat prowess, the keen mind of a veteran soldier, and an elemental weapon that vanishes when its wielder falls.
That's fucking cool. You can have really cool weapons that the enemy doesn't get to pick up if they, take down a soldier.
Right.
I just thought of smoke beasts from last episode.
Soot beasts.
Soot beasts. You could just send like a flock of soot birds to suicide mission into like a battalion. Just
That'd be cool.
A flock of ravens overhead, and they're just like crashing down, exploding.
That's cool.
Setting up the place.
Yep.
And then a fire elemental of one of these Myrmidons can like flame up the
maybe
smoke
make it
and explode it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that'd be
fucking
cool. So, in order to create the Archons, the Primordials studied nature in the elemental chaos. They then found several elemental creatures or wild elementals and split them apart into their components. Finally, they reshaped them, forging the elementals into Archons through intentional creation. The use of Archons was initially successful and might have won the Primordials the war, as they were produced in nearly limitless numbers, but the gods discovered the secret of their creation and began focusing relentless assaults on the special foundries where they were made.
Oh.
And the rest is history.
Okay. I mean, it's all history, but yeah.
Sure.
Fake history.
My favorite kind. At some point, Ifrits managed to steal the secrets of Archon creation from the Primordials, and from them, this knowledge eventually spread across the plains. After the Dawn War ended, an untold number of Elemental Myrmidons remained, having no master to serve. Some were quickly snatched up by powerful forces in the Elemental Chaos, while those that remained free took up the life of mercenary work.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, I made a fire, but can I deliver this package?
They're mercenary work, so it's going to be more like combat related. But,
okay.
But maybe there's that one guy who's like, I'll take anything. I'm just trying to get experience.
An air Myrmidon doing, the package delivery. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. During the elemental evil crisis on Toril, elemental Myrmidons were utilized by members of each of the 4 elemental cults responsible for the crisis: the cult of Black Earth, the cult of the Crushing Wave, the cult of the Eternal Flame, and the cult of the Howling Hatred.
Okay. That's Yancey Ben's favorite cult.
It is literally his favorite cult. It's actually his favorite cult.
I just love the way they fucking scream.
They're his cult. So many Archons fight for the Primordials that remain, or some other elemental power, be they god or archelemental. They serve mainly as soldiers and officers in their armies, but also as special agents and shock troops. In addition, Archons turn up in the service of lesser elemental princes and powerful beings that roam the elemental chaos, including the 4th edition cosmology to high-ranking demons of the Abyss.
Yeah.
So remember, 4E mixes up the Abyss and the elemental chaos.
Right.
So they get involved.
I think that's pretty cool.
I like it. It works.
They're chaotic.
In 4E, it's much more about kind of law versus chaos and about good versus evil. So more than just mighty warriors, Archons engage in unorthodox tactics to take down their enemies. For example, a squad of Archon assassins might burst through a planar portal to ambush a target's carriage as it travels between towns, or a team of Archons sent to intimidate the locals might appear during a violent earthquake or ride in on rushing floodwaters for greater effect.
That's fucking cool.
It's terrifying. Yeah. Although Archons were created for battle, they also excel in leadership roles. Would-be heroes might be surprised to find that the head of a band of elemental cultists is an Archon put in place by a higher power. Regardless of whether Archons are dispatched to fight or lead, they take full advantage of their elemental connections to get the job done.
So how deep are the personalities that they have? Are they like actual?
It's a very interesting question. I want to say they are not quite as deep as like a real actual person, but they are much more deep than your average elemental. So notice the phrasing here of they excel in leadership. Would-be heroes might be surprised to find that the head of an elemental cultist is an Archon put in place by a higher power. So an Archon isn't going to naturally take charge of a cult, but if a higher power puts them there, they will then do the job.
Okay.
They otherwise don't have like ambitions of their own.
Yeah.
So it's this weird kind of in between.
This is AI before AI.
Yeah. I would say, I guess they're kind of similar to, have you ever played, there's a video game called Detroit Becoming Human, I think it's called. It's like a story-based game, but basically, no spoilers for the game, but essentially you are playing as 3 different androids, right? And these androids kind of have this, like, they're very effective, they're very smart, but they don't technically have a will of their own until they start to.
Oh.
So that's the premise of the game, so that's not really spoilers.
Okay.
But
it's iRobot shit.
But yes, I would say they're like that.
All right. Okay. I see. That gives me a better, clearer picture of what's going on here.
Okay. Archons have their own needs and desires, as do other sentient creatures, but where mortals vie for riches and powers, Archons seek opportunities for destruction. The chance to commit violence and mayhem is a strong lure for Archons. After all, the creatures were literally born to fight. It's difficult to bribe an Archon with wealth, but presenting an intriguing destructive challenge, for example, bringing down a fortress walls that have been reinforced with powerful arcane runes, is a sure way to get Archon's interest, if not its servitude.
They're built to problem solve.
They really are. Yeah.
Is this a lot like the Warforged? Or not? It doesn't quite feel like that, but like something screams like, soul bodies made for war.
I mean, yeah, they definitely have that same vibe going on. I think with Warforged, though, the major difference is, and I don't remember the exact details of their forging, but like they are sentient creatures. They were created as sentient creatures with souls.
Yeah, okay.
Elemental Myrmidons do not have souls. They are given animus. They're elementals given animus.
Okay.
So there's a difference there.
Right.
Kind of. Unlike their lesser cousins, the elementals, Archons work well together, and each kind brings its own strengths into play. Whereas Earth Myrmidons are patient, inexorable defenders, Fire Myrmidons are aggressive and highly effective when attacking enemy positions or laying siege. Water Myrmidons travel as easily through rivers and lakes as others do on land. They make excellent naval forces and can sneak into occupied territory before launching a surprise attack from behind enemy lines. Ice Myrmidons are brilliant, ruthless tacticians whose calculated plans are devoid of emotion. When united, Myrmidons of different kinds are more destructive than when they act separately, and the strongest groups are those that have diverse elemental affinities. For example, Water Archons might infiltrate a castle by means of an underground river, opening the gates so that Fire Archons can spill into the structure and attack. Earth Archons fortify that position and hold the gates open, while Ice Archons ensure no one escapes from the castle to warn nearby villages and seek reinforcements.
Okay. Wait, is there 5 of them, or is it all kinds? You can do a smoke one?
There are all kinds. We are only going to talk about, when we get to specifics, the 4 major kinds: water, air, earth, and fire.
Sure.
But yeah, there any para-elemental, any even quasi-elemental, there can be Myrmidon for.
Okay.
Elemental Myrmidons retain no memories of the free elementals that were bound to create them. As creatures that were forged for the purpose of war, their mindset revolves almost entirely around conflict and conquest. They have an innate desire to wage war, though not necessarily a desire for winning. When their innate desire to wage war goes unsatisfied for a long period of time, they will initially become restless and then careless and sluggish.
Oh, wow.
All elemental Myrmidons are immune to the effects of diseases and poisons, as they are beings composed wholly of elemental essence. They are also impervious to harm from their respective elements.
Yeah, but not necessarily weak against their opposing element.
No,
right?
not necessarily so.
D&D.
No, not all the time. 4E was a little bit more like that, but we'll get into the specific Myrmidon types after a short rest.
Okay.
It's the grand adventures of Ilian and Beard.
Oh, Bien, that was a wonderful dungeon.
Yeah, it was really good.
I really needed that.
I gotta say, the pillaging of it,
Yes.
that was good. That was
Absolutely.
good.
You know, the best part for me was when we entered the chamber filled with elemental Myrmidons, and we just let their asses have it.
Absolutely. I mean, like, I let them, there was that part where I let them have my ass. Not like that. Not like that.
Whoa.
You were looking the other way.
I missed that one.
I did my
thankfully.
thing. Like, some of the air ones just evaporated.
Yes, I saw. There was like this strange, airy gel type substance just lying about the floor. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before.
Yeah.
It was as if
It's like solid
it
air.
was gel that had all of its liquid replaced with gas.
Yeah, you were pretty hype when you saw that.
Yes. Well, I pocketed some. I'm going to use it in some dark rituals later.
It was really weird. My armor got all fucked up because were they doing a force damage?
Yeah, it was strange. It was like their swords would make contact with my skin, but then they wouldn't. But I would take damage anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
Strange choice for the enchantments, but you know.
I like the part where you threw the spear down that water one's throat.
Yes,
It tried to spear you, and then you speared it, and
I've
it just
gotten
sort of
quite proficient with the spear. I don't know if you've noticed.
it exploded, and it got the fire one all wet, and that made it kind of mad.
There was a chain reaction.
And I hit an earth one with a sweet uppercut. I actually dropped my sword at one point and hit it with a sweet uppercut. I took his armor. Don't I look great?
Yeah, your armor looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, which elemental did you get it off?
The Earth one.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fantastic. That probably has magical properties to it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
You'll have to tell me.
We'll
but
look into it.
It's more of a good story about how I got it. I was down. I got hit. I got knocked prone. They were knocking me over left and right. I got hit prone, and then I got up like a wake up attack sort of. I don't know how to describe it, but I just Shoryuken. It just came out of my mouth, and the dude exploded. I got him right on the chin.
Wow.
Took his armor.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, there was a moment there I was thinking about casting Fireball, but with all these magical weapons about, I mean, why even bother?
I was gonna say, how did you get through all that without?
I mean,
casting
every
any
single
magic?
one of them that died was dropping magic items left and right.
You would think at this point of our journey that you were a suspected fighter, like me, but you're not.
I mean, it's not necessary.
Those
It's
spears,
not
those
necessary.
spears we got in that one Shopify town were crazy.
Well, I'm all out of those, but now I have this really sweet water trident.
Oh yeah, that's great. What happened to the other one? The ones you got from the?
Well, I used them all.
Yeah, but like you didn't go. You gotta go pick them up.
What?
Well, it's a shame. It's that okay, but it's a shame that we didn't find any shards down there.
Yes, it seems that our sojourn has come to an end, and we need to get back to business.
Why did we even go in there?
We needed the therapy, quite frankly.
Oh yeah, that weird grid thing happened.
Yeah, no, we don't need to talk about that. What
Yeah,
we
you're
do
right,
need
you're
to
right.
talk about is the fact that the pendant of plenteous patrons needs to be put back together.
Yeah,
Let's
you're
get-
right about that.
Let's get back to my tower. We have a shard to find.
To the tower. Oh, it's so far. We got blasted really far. Okay,
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hut, 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 hut.
We've returned.
Indeed, we have.
We're fucking back.
Indeed, we are.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Go to patreon.com/the Dungeoncast. Support Alien and Beern. Get early episodes and all kinds of other stuff. There's just so much stuff.
Indeed.
You can go get it.
You can.
Alien and Beern centric content.
Indeed.
Go get it.
Listen to them. What is suck the smoke of a cack?
No, they do not suck. That's the
No,
whole.
they
the whole
don't. They
point.
don't do it.
They do not smoke.
They did not do that.
they-
Don't ever accuse them.
No, they'll kill you.
Okay,
I don't know what they're doing on this one, but it's probably monster related.
definitely.
Anyway, they're all improv, and we do them after we record the episode, so we get the whole. We can use all the tools at hand. So let's learn what all the tools are. Will.
Let's do that. So,
Oh wait, sorry. Do I need stat blocks?
yeah, you actually do.
Okay.
You actually do.
I'll go find them. Are they the main 4 ones? Like
They're
you were
the main
saying?
4 ones.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, you should be able to find them all on one page in D&D Beyond, hopefully.
Gotcha. You do the thing. And
All
I'll
right.
do the thing over
Okay,
here.
sounds good. So let's get into the specifics of each of the 4 main Myrmidon types, starting with air Myrmidons. So air elemental Myrmidons, otherwise known as air Myrmidons or air Archons, are a variety of elemental Myrmidon beings created by conjuring and bonding elements, in this case of elemental air, into ritually created armor. Air Myrmidons are composed entirely of elemental air, with semi-transparent bodies that are roughly human in size and shape. Air Myrmidons have resistance to lightning-based spells and abilities, as well as ones that are sonic-based. They also have innate abilities allowing them to temporarily imbue their weapons with electrical energy and speed around the battlefield.
Ooh.
Yeah. There are 2 more powerful varieties of air Myrmidon, the Zephyr Haunts and the Tempest Blades. Zephyr Haunts can transform themselves into raging cyclones, flinging away the enemies they move through, while Tempest Blades can encase themselves in an aura of screaming winds that turn aside all weaponry lunged at them.
I was on the Myrmidon. I found the Myrmidon stats,
Yeah.
but I was on that page and I went back like Zephyr Haunts. That sounds so German, but it's Zephyr haunts like a ghost.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, not like Hans, like Hansel.
Like Hans. Like Hansel.
Zephyr Haunts.
Zephyr Haunts. Sorry, my pronunciation. The braces make it a little difficult
I'm
sometimes.
here to speed upon you. I haven't practiced a German in a long time.
Yeah, I'm terrible at a German accent. Most varieties of air Myrmidon typically fight with spiked chains or a flail with spikes on its chains. Tempest Blades, though, typically fight with longswords.
Okay.
Like any elemental myrmidons, when left to their own devices, these beings will form societies that have the same structure, one that is roughly militaristic. They are rigidly disciplined and have hierarchies based on rank, with rank determining every aspect of life in their stronghold. These ranks do not have proper titles, as air myrmidons simply know where they and others rank. They do not challenge authority or compete against one another for rank, each being satisfied with their station and feeling they best serve in that position.
Okay, cool. These are terrifying.
Yeah, they're terrifying. They're terrifying robots of war. Outside of combat, air myrmidons spend much of their time trying to hone their knowledge of strategy and tactics, engaging in tactical exercises or sparring, constantly training for the next conflict, which satisfies their innate desire to make war. Many air archons are known to serve Yancy Bin, the evil archelemental of elemental air. Beyond this, they often find themselves in the service of storm titans.
I love Yancy Ben. I think somebody commented, like, this is the only good one of the 4.
I like them all, but Yancy Bin's easily the most interesting.
100%.
Easily, yeah.
100%.
Although, to be fair, we have not done Ogre Mock yet. So,
Okay.
Earth Elemental Myrmidons, otherwise known as Earth Myrmidons or Earth Archons, are a variety of elemental myrmidon beings created by conjuring and bonding elements, in this case of elemental earth, into ritually created suits of armor to act as survival weapons of war. Earth Myrmidons are beings composed entirely of elemental earth. Their bodies are sturdy and rough and tough. Even among the militarily minded Myrmidons, Earth Myrmidons stand out as being excellent strategists. They prefer to conquest at a slow and steady pace, bunkering down and fortifying positions.
Okay.
There are 2 more powerful varieties of Earth Archons, the Seismic Strikers and the Ground Ragers. All varieties of Earth Myrmidon are capable of creating tremors in the earth, an innate ability they heavily utilized in combat. Seismic Strikers have the unique ability to manifest stone javelins. There's javelins. I can never remember.
So what? Javelins is
It's
like
javelin, right?
It's javelins.
yeah.
Javelins is like a coffee drink.
Ooh, I could go for one right now. Stone javelins that they hurl at their enemies, and ground ragers give off an aura that liquefies the earth around their enemies to impede their movements.
You know, javelins isn't actually a coffee drink, right?
Yeah.
It's not
yeah.
real. Okay,
I
cool.
know. Did it sound like I did?
I wasn't sure, so I just wanted to hit that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the clarification. The standard variety of Earth Myrmidon typically fights with either mighty warhammers or mauls made of stone. Those known as ground ragers fight with no weapons, while seismic strikers fight with a heavy shield and a war pick and their stone javelins.
Yes.
Regardless of what weapon they use, it is considered magical and can cause seismic shockwaves.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, many Earth Myrmidons are known to serve Ogre Mock, the evil archelemental of elemental earth. Beyond this, seismic strikers sometimes act as guards for stone giants. Among their fellow Myrmidons, Earth Myrmidons work better with ice archons than fire ones due to having similar approaches to warfare.
I like it.
All right. Fire elemental Myrmidons, otherwise known as fire Myrmidons or fire archons, are a variety of elemental Myrmidon beings created by conjuring and bonding elements, in this case the elemental fire, into ritually created suits of armor to act as survival weapons of war. Fire Myrmidons are beings composed entirely of elemental fire, with bodies that are roughly human-shaped and sized, with a head, torso, and arms. But rather than legs, their lower body is a single large conflagration that glides above the ground over thin layers of superheated air. So they float.
I like it.
Depending on their need, their fingers are either true digits or blended together like in a mitten-like form. What need would you have that requires mittens over digits?
What need?
What need would you have that would be like, no, mittens are better for this?
Catching baseballs.
Well, okay, that's fair.
I thought you would have got that one.
That's fair. That's super fair. You know, that's what fire archons love to do. They love to play some baseball.
They like to play baseball.
Absolutely. You know they're throwing heaters over the plate.
They're throwing heaters. That's great.
Their heads have a defined front and back, but lack facial features. Whenever they become angry or agitated, 2 brighter eye-like points can appear on their face. Fire Myrmidons are the most destructive in nature of all the elemental Myrmidons, and think of everything in terms of conflict.
Maybe they feel bad about that sometimes, so they get their mitten hands and like they shush people, like, shh, it's okay.
It's okay.
Everything's gonna be all right.
That's dark. That's really dark. They're impervious to harm from fire, but can be harmed by water. Also, like other elemental beings, they have no need for sleep, and they do not need to breathe in the sense that fire. But though they do need to breathe in the sense that fire needs air.
Yeah, it's their body fuel.
It's their body fuel. Anytime one of their limbs is severed, it will quickly regrow, with the severed part burning away in a swirl of fire and smoke. Ooh. They can set things alight with their bodies, though it requires some concentration, and they are incapable of diminishing the amount of light that their bodies emit, which is comparable to a bonfire. So they're not sneaking up on nobody ever.
DMs don't fall into the trope that just because it has limbs that can regrow means you're obligated to chop their arms off.
No, yeah, you don't have to. But it's a nice touch.
Like Piccolo. They chop that man's arm off every chance they get.
They really do.
It did happen. It did, I will say it did happen to Tien one time. And he did not regrow his arm.
Shit, yeah. He didn't regrow shit. Fucking Tien. There are quite a few varieties of Fire Myrmidon, including Ash Disciples, Blaze Steels, Ember Guards, and Flame Bows.
These are all cool names.
Yeah, it's pretty cool names. Big surprise, they're 4th edition names. Ash Disciples, one of the more powerful varieties of Fire Myrmidons. They are equivalent to war priests, aspiring for a day when fire will immolate and cleanse the world. They wear scale armor rather than plate, and they typically wear metal robes atop them.
Not Brock and Misty. What Will said.
Stupid. That took me a minute. These fire myrmidons cause noticeable effect on local weather patterns, such as prolonged droughts or heat waves. They can hurl fire, unleash pounding waves of heat, and engulf their enemies in blinding clouds of cinders. When slain, they explode in a burst of fiery embers.
Okay, that's fucking cool.
That's pretty cool. Blaze Steels, one of the more powerful varieties of fire myrmidons. Blaze Steels are the most ill-tempered and easily provoked, growing more courageous as they are injured. They serve as shock troopers with elemental armies. These fire myrmidons let out bursts of fire whenever they are injured, in addition to their die explosion.
Yeah, okay.
Ember Guards, these serve as guardians of temples, tombs, and other locations with strong ties to elemental fire. They also guard portals leading to the elemental chaos. Within armies made up of elemental creatures, they serve as infantry. These fire myrmidons are surrounded by a cloud of embers, burning any foe that comes too close to them.
Okay.
Flame bows, fire myrmidons that are specialized in the use of bows. They are often seen wearing chainmail rather than plate. These fire myrmidons can teleport short distances and will explode into a burst of fire when slain. Fire myrmidons are never inclined to stealth and are highly effective when it comes to attacking enemy positions or laying siege. They typically prefer to fight with metal weaponry that is evocative of flames. Thus, they avoid the use of heavier bludgeoning weapons. They're most commonly seen fighting with falchions, scimitars, and even rapiers.
Okay.
Despite their destructive tendencies, fire archons are noted to be excellent craftsmen, able to craft masterwork quality items on par with those created by dwarves. Nearly everything they craft has a flame motif decorating it.
That's fucking cool. I bet dwarves are mad.
You know how to make it sicker? Put some sick flames on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what? I'm beginning to get this feeling that dwarves are like the Worf or Wolverine of the elemental or of D&D. But okay, so you know,
you say Worf or Wolverine,
or
like
Wolverine.
from Star Trek?
Yes.
Okay.
So do you know what the Worf effect is?
What, that he's mad?
No, the Worf effect is whenever you need something on your Star Trek episode whenever you need to communicate to your viewers that this is a tough enemy, have them punch Worf in the face.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same with X-Men in the old Wolverine show. How do you let your people know that this villain's needs to be taken seriously? Have it kick Wolverine's ass.
Yeah. Well, let it run over Wolverine.
Yeah, and now you know that's a tough enemy. It kicked Wolverine's ass.
Yeah.
You know, it punched Worf in the face.
Yeah, got you.
How do you know that something's really good at crafting things in D&D? Make it as good as dwarves.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Make dwarves mad about it.
Make dwarves mad about it. You know it's good because this is as good as dwarves.
If dwarves are pissed, go buy it.
Yeah, because you know it's good. Anyways, where were we?
Water.
No, I don't think we got there yet.
Oh,
Okay.
we're one paragraph back.
Many fire myrmidons are known to serve Imix, the evil archelemental of elemental fire. They can also be found working for or alongside ancient red dragons, fire titans, guardian nagas, phoenixes, salamanders, and volcanic dragons. In the city of Brass, many fire archons serve as soldiers to the ruling Ifrit.
Fucking City of Brass.
We're going to get there this August, the hottest month of the year.
That's so hot, that Hansel.
Water elemental myrmidons. otherwise known as water myrmidons or water archons, are a variety of elemental myrmidon, beings created by conjuring and bonding elementals, in this case the element of water, into ritually created suits of armor to act as servile weapons of war.
On Earth-like planets, this is the strongest elemental.
Sure. Well, maybe.
I'd say they just float through all the water.
Yeah. But what about the land?
Setting specific, but there's mostly water here.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Water myrmidons are beings composed entirely of elemental water. Though they are capable of moving on land and do so on occasion as a surprise tactic, they prefer to remain near water. Being kept too far from water can affect their loyalty to a master. They also value having frequent opportunities to spread misery and woe. This is the only elemental myrmidon that I have thus far read on that actively enjoys spreading like misery,
like shitting on
being
people.
evil. The other one's just like, we fight because we are programmed to fight. Water myrmidons like it a little too much.
It's because all the water has, like, you know how water has, the water you drink today was maybe inside a dinosaur, right?
Sure, yeah.
Or something to that effect. Like
Yeah.
Julius Caesar pooped one time and his water got filtered out of his poop and like returned back to the earth or whatever.
I think I recently saw a Vsauce short where he was talking about like 50% of all the water that we interact with on a daily basis is something like 4.5 billion plus years old.
Yeah, see, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's been through a lot of stuff. All this water has run through all Hydra. So everything's
It's
a little
true.
bit evil.
Yeah, everything's a little bit evil
If
when
you're
it
feeling
comes to water.
if you're feeling like you want to fucking rob a bank, that's the all Hydra inside
That's the
of
old
you.
Hydra inside you. Damn, that's hilarious. They are impervious to harm from water-based spells or abilities, but those that are cold-based will hinder their movements, and they are uniquely able to temporarily infuse their weapon strikes with elemental ice.
Sick.
There are 3 varieties of water archon: shoal reavers, tide striders, and wave shapers.
It's just all the names of the sub ones are so fucking cool.
They are pretty cool. Shoal reavers, these water myrmidons can make temporary harpoons out of solid water and conjure forth small whirlpools. Shoal reavers often use their water harpoons to pull creatures closer to the water before conjuring forth whirlpools.
Sick.
Wave shapers.
Get over here.
Get over here. Wave shapers, these water myrmidons can manipulate the water by gesturing with their fans. So they fight with fans,
Okay.
which
Some air shit,
it's a
but
really
okay.
cool exotic weapon. I'm into it. Conjuring forth small waves, whirlpools, or geysers, as well as empowering aquatic or water elemental creatures. One of the more powerful varieties of water myrmidons, they are equivalent to war priests aspiring for a day when prime material worlds will be drowned by the churning waters of the elemental chaos.
All right.
They typically wear robes atop their armor and are known for creating great ships made of semi-solid water, which can rise and submerge at will.
Okay. There's some wet robes.
Tide striders, one of the more powerful varieties of water myrmidons. They are the most agile at moving through water and known for being quite reserved but violent. The standard variety of water myrmidon typically fights with tridents, while those known as tide striders and wave shapers typically fight with great spears and dual war fans, respectively. Many are known to serve Ol Hydra. There she is, folks. The evil archelemental of elemental water. Beyond this, they often find themselves in the service of masters who are like the ocean, quite destructive and unpredictable in nature, such as aboliths or human pirates.
Hell yeah. These are all fucking sick as fuck.
Hell
I love
yeah.
these guys.
These are elemental myrmidons. That's all I got before we get to the stat box. You got any questions, comments, or concerns?
No, I'd probably call them the Myrm. Will, can I read you some stat blocks?
Please do.
I have Air Elemental Myrmidon, medium elemental, typically neutral. Armor class is 18 plate. HP is 117 or 18d8 plus 36. They got a speed of 30 feet and 30 feet of flying or hover. They have a +4 to strength, a +2 to dex, a +2 to con, a -1 intelligence, a 0 wisdom, and a 0 charisma, which that's neutral charisma is pretty on brand here. Damage resistances, lightning, thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. They are immune to
Poison.
conditioned immunities, paralyzed, petrified, prone, or
Poisoned.
senses, dark vision, 60 feet. That tracks for
Do we
5e.
want to talk about my solve for the poison problem?
We do.
Okay. Do we want to do it now?
Do it now.
Okay.
Well, we didn't even look up if there is this thing.
What?
There might be this
magical
thing.
poison? No, there isn't.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I just think, okay, so I think the reason that most of these magical high-level creatures are immune to poison is when we think about poison, we think about it in like the actual real world sense, kind of how we do with weapons,
Like biologically.
you know. And I just think that much like there's magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, there should just be magical poison, such as from like a green dragon's breath attack, which should be like more than just poison. It's pure elemental magical poison that can, you know, toxify even a demon or an angel or whatever. So that's just my opinion. That's how I'd fix it.
Super poisons need super cures.
Indeed.
Let's see. We got, where did I leave off? Dark vision, 60 feet. Passive perception, 60 feet. Lay languages, Orin, and one language of its creator's choice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of times it's wizards making these things.
Yeah, so they can take orders and understand them.
Indeed.
In the more common tongue. Challenge rating 7 or 2,900 experience points. They operate on a proficiency bonus of +3. Actions, multi-attack. The Myrmidon makes 3 flail attacks. There's a flail in the picture, which is fucking horrifying. Flail is a melee weapon attack +7 to hit with a reach of 5 feet on one target. It's going to hit for 8 or 1d8 +4 force damage. And the final thing here is Lightning Strike recharges on a d6 roll for 6. The Myrmidon makes 1 flail attack. On a hit, the target takes an extra 18 4d8 lightning damage, and the target must succeed on a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of the Myrmidon's next turn. That's pretty sick.
Indeed. And stunned is pretty debilitating.
Yeah. A stunned creature is incapacitated, can't move, and can speak only falteringly. The creature automatically fails strength and dex saves. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see. We got the Earth Elemental Myrmidon. Medium Elemental, typically neutral. Armor class 18 plate. HP is 127, 17d8 +51. Speed 30 feet. It's got +4 strength, +0 dex, +3 con, -1 intelligence, +0 wisdom, and +0 charisma. It's going to resist Beepus and from non-magical. It's going to resist non-magical Beepus, which is bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Now that we know,
you can say BPS.
I'm going to say Beepus.
Okay.
It's immune to
Poison.
its condition immunities are paralyzed, petrified, prone, and
Poisoned.
senses dark vision 60 feet, passive perception 10. It speaks Terran in one language of its creator's choice. Challenge rating 7, proficiency bonus 3. It's got a multi attack. It's going to make 2 maul attacks. The maul is a melee weapon attack with +7 to hit, reach of 5 feet on one target. It's going to hit for 11 or 2d6 +4 force damage. It's got a thunderous strike. It's going to recharge on a 6. The Myrmidon makes 1 maul attack on a hit. The target takes an extra 22 or 4d10 thunder damage, and the target must succeed on a DC 14 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
I don't like the thunder damage for Earth stuff. It just doesn't fit for me.
Yeah,
The problem is there's not really a good alternative either. I've seen sometimes acid stuff done for Earth elementals, which is okay because, you know, like there are caustic chemicals within, you know, Earth, sulfur and a bunch of other stuff.
I mean, it hit you so hard, it damaged you with the sound. Because thunder is synonymous with sound damage.
For the most part, yeah.
So, I mean, it just is weird because
just make it force damage.
the shatter spell is
Thunder damage.
thunder damage, and it fucks up Earth
Sound.
extra.
It does, yeah. I feel like I feel like it's okay to give it force damage in this case. You know, it's just the bludgeons so hard that it becomes force damage, which is very, very rarely ever resisted, right?
It's the best damage.
Yeah,
That's
so-
probably why they didn't pick that.
Yeah, but at the same time, looking at it, it's like I think it should have got picked, honestly. But that's just my take.
It's a balancing issue. We got the Fire Elemental Myrmidon. Medium Elemental, typically neutral, armor class 18 plate. HP is 123 or 19d8 +38. Speed is 40 feet. It's 10 more than the other two, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unless you count the 30 hover on top of it. So strength is +1, dex +4, con +2, intelligence -1, wisdom +0, and charisma +0. Damage resistances to Beepus from non-magical Beepus. Damage immunities to fire and
Poison.
condition immunities to paralyzed, petrified, prone, and
Poisoned.
senses. Dark vision 60 feet. Passive perception is 10. Languages ignorant in one language of the creator's choice. Challenge rating 7. Proficiency bonus +3. Illumination. The Myrmidon sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius and a dim light in a 40-foot radius. Water susceptibility. For every 5 feet the Myrmidon moves in 1 foot or more of water, it takes 2 or 1d4 cold damage. That's interesting. You can't just stay in the water.
Yeah, but it has hover, right? No, it doesn't have hover.
No.
Okay.
Just move very fast. Multi-attack. The Myrmidon makes 3 scimitar attacks. Scimitar is a melee weapon attack plus 7 to hit. Reach of 5 feet. One target's going to hit for 7 or 1d6 plus 4 force damage. This one gets force damage. What the fuck is that?
It says slashing damage on the stat block I'm looking at.
It does not. On
That
mine.
has to be a typo. Are you on D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
That has to be a typo. That straight up has to be a typo.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
Anyway, fiery strikes. Wait, where are you looking?
Some site that's probably not legal.
Oh.
I don't know. I pulled up the fastest thing I could find.
I'm not mad about it.
Okay.
Fuck Hasbro. Fiery strikes recharge on a 6. The Myrmidon uses multi-attack. Each attack that hits deals an extra 7 or 2d6 fire damage. Why does this feel better than the other ones?
Fire gets a little bit more attention. I don't know if you noticed, but even in the lore, it had way more subtypes.
Yeah, it really
Fire is the most popular element, period.
Okay.
Always is.
Well, so be it. We got the water elemental Myrmidon. It's medium elemental, typically neutral. Armor class 18 plate. HP is 127 or 17, D8 plus 51, speed 40 feet, swim speed 40 feet. Very cool. Strength is going to be plus 4, dex plus 2, con plus 3, intelligence -1, wisdom plus 0, charisma plus 0. Damage resistance, it resists acid and non-magical beepus. Damage immunities,
Poison.
condition immunities, paralyzed, petrified, prone, and
Poison.
senses dark vision 60 feet, passive perception 10. Languages, Aquan, or one language of its creator's choice. Challenge rating 7, proficiency bonus plus 3. It's going to do a multi-attack. The Myrmidon takes 3 trident attacks. The trident is a melee or ranged weapon attack plus 7 to hit. Reach of 5 feet or range of 20/60 feet. That's 20 at normal roll and 60 at disadvantage roll, right? That's how that works.
Where are we looking here?
The range trident,
Okay, I see.
like when you throw 20/60, like how it has on bows.
Yeah.
The first one is the normal
up
roll.
to 20 normal.
Disadvantage
and then
at
afterwards
60
is
feet.
Disadvantage, yeah. You know, the stat block I'm looking at isn't giving me a ranged
Oh,
version, but go ahead.
okay. It's going to hit for 7 or 1d6 plus 4 force damage, or 8, 1d8 plus 4 force damage if used with 2 hands to make a melee attack. Why does this say force damage also? Shouldn't it be piercing?
It's definitely a typo. It has to be a typo.
Freezing strikes recharges on a 6. The Myrmidon uses multi-attack. Each attack that hits deals an extra 5 or 1d10 cold damage. A target that is hit by one or more of these attacks has its speed reduced by 10 feet until the end of the Myrmidon's next turn, which is really cool. Okay, we'll check the book. I guess I've just been reading force damage out loud and didn't register, but they all say force damage for their attacks, and the extra stuff is different damage. So
Yeah.
I guess they just do force damage.
Yeah, I the only thing I can think of is maybe they want to get past resistances. But like usually most monsters you just say like their attacks count as magical, right?
Okay.
For the purposes of resistances.
Yeah. This is magical beepus, but now it's not. It's force damage, which is broken. It's pretty good.
It's a strange choice. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, like their additional attack, like their the freezing strikes, it's doing cold damage and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, I see that. But to me, like, why are we changing? Like, the swords that this fire elemental Myrmidon are wielding are very obviously made of like burning hot metal, right? It should do slashing damage. Why is it doing force damage?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? It's just strange. It's not a broken choice. It's just a choice. I'm not sure what that choice is about.
Well, I think I think it is better to have force damage.
It is better, like if we're talking like damage wise, like if we're trying to do the most amount of damage, sure. It's just lore wise, why did we choose for these things that do this? You know what I mean?
I wonder if it got updated at some point to be that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't before.
I don't know.
Maybe.
It's just true. Well, you know, it probably because some of these other blocks I was looking at don't have that.
Yeah, there's not like I can't just quickly look that up.
Like this
I'd
one
have to
says
research
slashing
that.
damage. I'm on I don't even know what this site is, but yeah.
It would make more sense for it to be that, but the official stat block on D&D Beyond says force damage, and then the additional, like the thunder strike, is thunder damage. So I guess in for the sake of your argument here, they already used force damage. So if you're going to pick another kind of damage, that's probably the next best thing.
Yeah, sure.
That's not bludgeoning, I guess. But yeah, there you have it. There's all 4 of the main stat blocks. We're not going to read all of the variants, but from 2E, 4E. But yeah, I like these. Generally speaking, they are all very, very cool.
They're fun. I'm planning on having a lot of them in my current elemental campaign when we eventually get to that level. But,
Right on.
Yeah, I plan on having these guys around.
Yeah, they're strong. These are very
they're-
strong creatures.
They're fun, and they are at a pretty sweet spot. I think 7 is another sweet spot, like 3, where it can be like a boss, a mini boss, or a ground troop, depending on like the level of your party.
Yeah, like a small group of adventurers, low level, they find a stray Myrmidon.
Yeah, and that's a straight up like epic ass boss fight, you know. Versus if you're a bunch of level 10s, you know, a few of these might be a good mini boss.
It's when one's
And if
spinning
you're-
his flail, stunning people.
Yeah, level 12
Yikes.
plus. These are getting a little bit more like elite troops.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's everything I have here.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I think it's time to take a long rest.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Long Rest. This is the part of the episode where I put things on my feet. What am I putting on my feet
We
today?
have 4 different varieties to choose from.
It's so chaotic. It's chouse down there, and some of it's wet, and some of it's shooting harpoons, and it's every kick is force damage. Apparently,
Apparently,
yeah.
I'm a little miffed actually about it.
These are my-
I'm not pleased about the whole force damage thing.
My slippery Myrmidon slippers.
Yeah, oh no, it's fine for your slippers.
Yeah, the force.
I
It
just
is
meant for
weird.
the stat block.
I feel like that was like I don't know. Maybe they're just so fucking strong.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? If anyone knows, please tell us in the comments. I really want to understand.
I feel like it's one of those things that
just behind the
like
decision.
we could probably go Google and figure out.
I
like,
tried to Google it. I mean, briefly. I didn't find anything.
Interesting. Yeah, let us know if you guys know. Speaking of letting us know if you guys know, we're gonna. I said last episode we're gonna read fan mail from the email, but I was wrong. We don't have any. We have emails that came in, but nothing to read on the show.
Yeah.
So we're going to read the comments from Yancey Bin episode. So get ready for that. The first one I'll start is from Josh Chrismon 8158. It threw me for a loop there. I thought it was Crimson. When you guys have a laughing fit, I can't help but join in. Thank you for the great
That's good to
content
hear.
and the laughs. Thank you. You've stoked the flames of my passion to create content once again. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you for saying thank you. Will, you might have to help me out with this because there's no timestamp or anything. But Duncholes 7606 says no Ben Grimm references. Ben Grimm, like
From
the
Fantastic
thing?
Four?
Yeah.
Yeah. For the NC. I mean, this ain't the Ogre Mock episode, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what this means.
Ogre Mock episode, we might very well have a Ben Grimm reference because he looks like a giant angry Ben Grimm.
That's true.
But this is Yancey Bin.
Yeah. So BPS, this is going to be fun. A fun comment. Cameron Pierce 5943 says BPS stands for bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Ah, yes, thank you.
In One Piece, Hakai lets character punch people with elemental powers who can become amorphous. So I apply the same kind of thinking of magical Beepus in D&D. Thank you for reading my other comment. You're welcome, Cameron Pierce. We appreciate you. Bold City Longsword 9941 says, I bet Yancey Bin thinks our names are stupid too.
You know
He
what?
probably does.
He probably does.
His name is stupider.
William. Brian.
Where's your random letter in the middle with the hyphens, huh? How did I categorically? Yeah, I was. This is only my third of 26 iterations. Raz Yura says, I hope your boys have Featherfall as a prepared spell. As for Yancey Bin, or any of the other elementals, I would think that he would have major beef with any plane, including Quasi and Para, that does not have direct contact with their native plane. So Yan would probably really hate, second only to the plane of Earth, the paraplanes of ooze and magma and the quasi-planes of mineral and dust. But oddly enough, he may not completely mind the quasi-plane of vacuum, but that would be the DM's call, because he can go there and get that suck.
I mean, I would actually feel the opposite. I mean, it is just as much the absence of air as the elemental plane of earth is. You know,
Fair enough.
So I don't think he'd particularly. If anything, he'd be like, "Where's all my air?
Ah,
My air should be filling this vacuum, but it's not."
I'm getting that suck. No. What is this? Jet Lord, the Ranger of Winter.
Wow.
Sorry, it's all mushed together. Look up a substance called aerogel for what I think solidified air would look like and feel.
You know what? Maybe I will.
I hope that's not a trap.
I'll look it up right now.
Uh-oh. Do it in incognito mode.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Aerogel. I feel like I've heard of this.
It's
No shit.
AERO.
Holy
Did you
fuck.
find it?
That was such a good suggestion. You got to see this, dude.
Thank you, Jet Lord, the Ranger of Winter.
Seriously, just look at this shit. Yeah, that's what solidified air would look like.
What the snatch?
No fucking joke.
Okay. That's strange.
I'm going to learn more about this.
All right. Cameron Pierce is back. And they say, I'm shocked they never made gargantuan minis for the elemental princes. Ogremok would be so cool. That would be cool. They made a gargantuan Bahamut, like shooting some fucking shit out of its mouth.
What are we talking about? Oh, miniatures?
The gargantuan miniatures.
Oh, no shit. I haven't seen this.
I think they should call them maxitures, but whatever.
Okay, hold on. Aerogels. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, Will is on the hype train for aerogel.
Aerogels are a class of synthetic porous ultralight material derived from a gel in which the liquid component for the gel has been replaced with a gas without significant collapse of the gel structure. The result is a solid with extremely low density and extremely low thermal conductivity. Aerogels can be made with a variety of chemical compounds. Yeah, I think who left that comment? Because they're on the money.
Jet Lord, the Ranger of Winter.
Thank you, Jet Lord, the Ranger Winter. Good suggestion.
Thank you, Jet Lord. Cameron Pierce also left another comment that says, I hope you check out Pazuzu's 5e stats in Minx and Boo's Journal of Villainy. I mean, when you say that, I might look at them, but I won't talk about it on the show.
I'm not going to be on the show.
Mason Van Zant 7799 says, okay, y'all, here's the business. I've been listening to you guys for about 3 years or so now, and I have always heard you talk about Super Quest Saga, but didn't really want to commit to a new actual play podcast yet, despite my love of sci-fi. Flash forward a year-ish later, I did the backer kit for Drakenstar, and I said,
thank you.
I said, fuck it. Fuck it. Let's start listening. I added the second, fuck it. I've been binging it, and I'm only on episode 9 already. It is fucking awesome. You four are so witty and silly, and the world building is peak. You guys are great, and I'm excited to finish Scoose and maybe do a little Unhallowed. Yeah, Unhallowed is still being made, but
yes.
Will commented saying, glad you're enjoying the Scoose.
Indeed. And you know, it's funny, I was telling my fiance, Michelle, about one of our most repeated comments is always, I'm not really into live plays, or I'm not really into sci-fi, but I decided to give Super Quest Saga a shot, and it's amazing. And it's always really great to hear. And yeah, if you have been considering it, I highly recommend you check out the show.
It's really good.
Mostly because Brian Freeland and Jake are hilarious.
It's really good.
They're so fucking funny, and I do a good job of keeping it on the rails.
Yeah, well, obviously the structure of it, the space we played in wouldn't have been possible without Will, who did a great job. But we are also very cool.
Yes, I went back and was listening recently because I'm still writing the book, and yes, it is very funny.
With my home players, I've been told I am a far superior. Not that I'm a bad dungeon master or anything. I think I'm a fair dungeon master.
Yeah, I think you're a good dungeon master.
But I apparently am a far superior player than I am a dungeon master. So if you want to check that out, you can do that.
I mean, I guess I'd agree with that. Like, you're a much better player than I am. I'm a much better dungeon master than I am a player. But I'm not that I'm a bad player, but
no,
yes, you are an amazing player.
Our strengths are weighted as such. We respect differently.
Indeed.
Cameron Pierce is back again. I said, good old Yancey. I love the Yancey as a nickname.
Indeed,
it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Gusta Afargoan says, just another name for Lucifer. Is it?
I don't know. Sometimes we get those weird comments that are like, secretly have hyper Christian agendas.
Oh,
maybe that's one of them. I don't know.
Usually the people with hyper Christian agendas are like, why do you guys curse so much?
No, I think they're just uptight agendas.
There was that one that the elitists have come.
Yeah, they come and go.
Well, I guess towards the beginning, the first like year or two the show was being made, there were Christians being hyper.
There were a lot.
Like
it's a lot rarer these days.
Like Bible bashers in the comments,
Yes.
like really coming after us, telling us we're going to burn in hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Lots of that.
I mean, maybe I will. I don't know.
Sorry.
Agent Chouse 9332 says, for the record, the lawful outer. Just so Gusta Faraguan, we're not necessarily saying that you have a hyper Christian agenda.
Oh yeah. I was just saying I didn't understand the comment.
I don't either.
But thanks for commenting.
We appreciate it. I thumbs up and liked it anyway.
Hell yeah.
Agent Chouse 9332 says, for the record, the lawful outer plane of Mechanus, or Mechanus as the normies say it, that's me, ad-libbing, has an optional rule where attacks always deal average damage, just like you were describing as a potential homebrew house rule.
Yeah, it does.
That's cool.
They're right.
Mr. GOR, it's like G little O big R.
Okay.
Is that something?
I don't know.
Game of Roar. I definitely do average damage. It's just faster. You can still crit. Just add a die roll on top of the average. The thing that removes the chance of crit is when you use mob rules. Oh, yeah. Like if you land one attack on a mob creature, it just dies.
Yeah, I had to remove critical hit rules for the Starship combat in Starseeker's Guide, unless you get a specific Starship upgrade, because that shit was way too powerful.
Yeah, there's, when you need to balance, you do the balance. Oh, it's Wallypoff. Wallypoff says, I kind of want some Kuatoa to mishear Yancey Bin's name and create a deity named Nancy Bin, the tornado-generating trash bin god.
Nancy Bin.
That's really funny. Oh, Wallypoff, I saw something that said you would like people that got a big success for nominating a topic that was selected on Patreon for an episode to be shouted out. I think we could do that.
Wait, what happened?
Like this, like when we do a patron voted episode, we should be like, hey, this episode was nominated by this person. Is there a way to track that?
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, we should do that.
Will's
I guess
in charge of that,
I will. The only one I remember is the dungeon dude, Joel Lima. Joel, you did it, man.
Joel Lima.
That episode happened.
I remember that name. Lucas FF1434 says, and I'm going to sing it. Yancey been rolling. They hate him.
No.
That's fucking great. That's really good. Brian Tavon Miller. Sharknadoes happened because Yan and Alhydra were doing it. Great. Now I can't unsee this. Burnt into my brain.
Yeah.
Sick.
No comment.
Wes What the Fuck, or Wes WTF says, Tansy Bin reads books on the beach under an umbrella. His polymorph form with the elementals is a great buffer. I think that's a math joke.
Okay. I'd have to read it. Hearing it, I didn't get it.
Tansy Bin reads books on the beach under an umbrella. It's a joke about academia at some level.
Okay.
It's over our heads right now. Cameron Mural Bird 7738 says, why do wizards hate goats?
No, wizards don't hate goats. Wizards from Netheril hate goats.
Wizards from Netheril hate goats. And Wizards of the Coast doesn't necessarily hate goats. They have a giant goat stat block, and it's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
Some wizards love goats.
I'm finding out that I fucking love goats. They just come up all the time.
Goats are pretty cool.
Like, what other animal, like, they have the coolest noises, I think. Yeah. One of them is like fucking scream.
I mean, they're little assholes, but they're great.
Yeah, they're mischievous little assholes, trash eaters.
So are ducks. Ducks.
Oh, except I don't like ducks. Ducks have a bunch of really terrible facts about them.
Oh, ducks are terrible.
Yeah,
Did I tell you how I had to save a duck from a bunch of ducks?
Why'd you do that?
Why'd I save the duck?
Yeah.
Because the duck was getting the shit beat out of it to death by other ducks.
Probably deserved it.
I don't know, man. It was brutal. I was like, what am I seeing?
If people on the show have heard me tell that I hate birds.
He does hate birds.
But it's a spectrum. And I like macaws a lot. And like,
sure, okay. That's a great bird.
There's some birds that sing and I like the
I
sound
like
of their
budgies
singing.
a lot. Budgies are great.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I like birds, but
like
yeah.
eagles and hawks, they're all right.
I love eagles
in
and
my
hawks.
book.
Yeah.
They're cleaning up vermin or whatever.
There was one literally eating a squirrel outside your house. When I got here.
That tracks. There's a lot of that probably going on. I hope it's not my buddy squirrel that's been hanging out in my backyard.
It was next to your house, man.
I mean, to be fair, there's a huge row of oak trees outside my house.
Absolutely. And a hawk was eating one of the squirrels.
Yeah, let nature take its course.
Yep.
Should have not saved that duck.
That duck needed to be saved. It was brutal, dude. There was blood. It was horrible.
I'll give you a pass. What ducks are on the bottom of the opposite end of the spectrum of
Okay.
birds I like and don't like.
Yeah.
They used to attack me.
Yeah, ducks are jerks.
Yeah.
They're jerks to each other. They're jerks to people. They're just jerks. They're
That's a
they're
fucking
mean
terrible
creatures.
hockey team. I don't know why anyone likes it.
I have nothing against the hockey team. You heard it here, guys.
I actually don't.
The Dungeoncast says fuck ducks.
Fuck the Ducks. That's not the Dungeoncast. That's just me as a Kings fan.
Okay, that's fair.
Come at me. You guys are golfing. We might be golfing soon, but whatever. Trey Fox 87, timestamped 3818. It could be cool to use these break-off elementals as sort of nodes that elder elementals can choose to inhabit, transferring themselves between each of the elementals summoned that way as a free action once per summoned elemental to more easily maneuver around and get behind players that try to surround them. Kind of like Lich Phylactery or Vampire Casket without needing to be dropped to negative HP and with much less recharge time. I consider it. I consider that.
It's a good idea.
A Moss Hive Network 117 says, "Are there darkness and light elementals?"
Kind of.
Kind of.
Yes.
Oh, I assume we'll be getting to that.
I don't know. I mean, the Radiance plane is going to have Radiance para elementals. As for darkness ones, we did talk in the Yancey Bin episode about the Necromentals, which is about as close as you're really going to get. But I don't know. Maybe there's vacuum elementals. I don't know.
Okay, we'll figure it out as the year.
But they're going to look like nothing, not like darkness. So I don't know.
I said I replied to that comment. I said Will says kind of.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. You can tune in to figure it out. Although I should have typed that instead of just saying it here. As a Bacam says, "Gonna be real. This was the first arc elemental to really strike me as very interesting. The others are just kind of bland compared to figures like the devils and demons. If I were to mess around with them, I'd probably rework the others to be more like him."
To be fair, I think Ohydra and Amix are hilarious.
They are. Old Hydra is really funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think Amix is also funny. And he reminds me a lot of the Fire King from Adventure Time.
Yeah.
But Yancey Bin is absolutely the most nuanced and interesting for sure.
I'd agree. I
But
think this was the comment
also
I was
have a
referencing in the
deep-
episode.
I have a deep appreciation of like hammy, over the top comic book style villains. Obviously, too much is too much, and you don't want all your villains to be like that. But sometimes I just love a villain that knows they're a villain and just loves being a villain, and that shit's great.
Yeah,
I love
Imix
that.
definitely fits the bill there.
Yeah.
JS Togdill 9195 says, "Evil heir." So he's the fart lord? I would say yes, he's the fart lord.
Yes, indeed.
That was a smiling, sweaty face emoji. Also after I didn't.
Oh, okay. Thanks for communicating that.
Yeah. David Robertson 5996 says, "Love it when the lore is something I've never heard of before. Great work, guys. Keep up the good work."
That's easy when most of it is 4th edition, so it's something a lot of people haven't heard of before.
Yeah, it's his Will's wheelhouse. Good job, Will. D Mad Hatter says, "Do farts count as evil heir?
I agree. I think so.
Do they fall under the purview of Yancey Bin? Who knows? Probably. We're gonna say it. We know, and the answer is yes." Sir Nunos lives. Definitely with Will. Most of us here despise Wizards of the Coast and wish the company was in better hands. The management makes it too easy to hate them. Shout out to companies like Larian and content creators that have to dance around the giant shit pile in the room. Thanks for the shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Lich Balagar says, "Maybe the new president of Wizards of the Coast can turn WotC around. I hope so, at least." Yeah, there was a change of the guard there.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
I doubt it.
Hasbro's the real problem more than anything.
I think so.
Yeah, so-
And I can't expect the employees of Wizards of the Coast to just like not be complicit in what they have jobs to do. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Like, what are they supposed to do? I mean, I don't know the stories of people who have quit to go to other places. I imagine they exist, though.
Sure.
Which is admirable.
Yeah.
Hopefully that sends a message. Clearly it has not so far. Or maybe it was part of the, the pushback. I don't want to discredit anybody unnecessarily. Was what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So 44 Naya says, oh, and I'm also with Will on this.
And I'm with you guys.
Yeah. Because when I first read this, I was like, but me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate these fools.
Absolutely.
Fuck the government. Fuck Wizards and Hasbro's. Anyway, 44 Naya says, what is the rallying cry of Yancey Ben's palace workers who want to unionize? Quote, solidarity. Solidarity.
Oh,
Solidarity.
my God. Love it. That's great.
Thank you. Tip your waitress. Try the veal. You've been great. A great audience. Good night, everybody. That was in parentheses. Very nice.
Indeed.
Excellent comment.
I liked it.
Sure, why not? 2156 says generic comment. Hey,
Hey,
we
thank
fucking
you.
appreciate that. Keep doing it.
I love you too, random citizen.
Silver Triforce, and the O is with a numeric O. At timestamp 32 minutes exactly, I was in the same situation. I created an area around the vessel determined by its size that keeps large creatures or objects or smaller in its artificial gravity sphere. Another cool effect is when two vessel spheres intersect, there's a roll the captions do, and the winner, I think it meant captors do, and the winner sets the relative gravity, which can make the losers up become down.
Interesting.
Off Eden, or Othedon, says, an order of cloud giant monks and ninjas dedicated to an evil archimental is something my game needs. Yoink. Ha, cool. Let's see. And then we have Mulgra, Yancey Ben hatefully howling at his neighbors. That's funny.
Hilarious.
That's really funny. All right. Well, that was it for the Yancey Bin comments. Thank you guys so much for interacting with the show. It was fun interacting with all of you. Will, do you have anything else you want to?
No, I mean, thank you for all the comments. Keep them rolling in.
We're going to pass it on to us.
You take it, us.
Pre-recorded us. You guys are my best friends.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Creators Corner. I am here with David Samoish, of an author of Deicide, a level 1 through 20 campaign book for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, as well as the companion book, Tyranny of Dragons Reloaded, meant to supplement Horde of the Dragon Queen and Rise of Tiamat. David, thank you so much for joining us today. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's nice to meet you guys as well.
So I want to know, how did you come to start as a writer?
Do you mean writing for D&D specifically, or just writing in general?
I did want to ask you about writing for D&D specifically, but just writing in general to start would be great.
Yeah, so as a kid, I always enjoyed writing these short one-page stories and stuff like that for school and just for myself. And eventually I did try to make a full novel sort of thing, but I never had the determination to actually finish one, to actually get it to completion. And eventually I started playing D&D, and I guess as for most other DMs, you start writing stuff. So you start adding notes on Post-its or on your phone or whatever you have at hand when you're prepping for next week's session. And about like 3 years after we finished, or after playing, so we essentially finished our first campaign, I came to realize that I had an entire folder of drawings and photos and notes I had written of stuff that had happened and what was supposed to have happened and what had gone wrong, etc. And at that time, I just sort of let it be. I thought, oh, this would be a nice project one day, like wrap it all up and make it all nice and readable from start to finish. But I let it be. And we played another campaign. My brother-in-law DM'd a campaign for us as well, for the same group of people that I was playing with. And randomly, at some point, I found a template online which just let you write a document on the style of D&D, so on the style of the player's handbook or the monster manual. And that's where the inspiration sort of started. So based on that, I thought, okay, now I could actually, start writing something. And yeah, so I basically gathered everything I had, and I thought it was going to be something quick. For whatever reason, it actually took me like 2 or 3 years to get it done. And I basically had to rewrite everything from my notes, everything from scratch. And once I finished, I had to rewrite everything again to actually make it cohesive, to actually have a nice plot from start to finish instead of just random one-shot adventures that had nothing to do with one another.
I see.
Yeah, and then I had to learn how to make maps because we used to play. So this was before the advent of VTTs, right? So this was before COVID. We played on a table, and we had this acrylic board where we drew stuff on, and we used a lot of theater of mind. And nowadays it's more and more prevalent, to start using virtual tabletops and Foundry and Roll20. So having maps is a real asset. So yeah, I learned how to make a couple of maps, and I added like to those more prominent places in the campaign. And yeah, I think by the end, so it took me, as I said, like 2 or 3 years. By the end, I actually had a nice book, a nice product that I thought, oh, this is awesome. Like other people can actually play the same campaign. And then I left like little tidbits of stuff. Oh, at my table, we did it this way, and this happened, and I messed this up. And it was a really nice way to sort of immortalize what actually happened in our adventures, in our sessions.
Oh, that's great. That's a really good story. I'm excited to hear that it all kind of coalesced together with D&D as a catalyst, So that was your first book, Deicide. That's what you're talking about now, right? With the book kind of being that campaign that you guys all played together, manifesting itself into this project.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the beginning, when we started playing, we really didn't have any idea of the rules of what was going on. So I remember in our first game ever, I remember like our rogue at some point said he wanted to stealth. And because we didn't know what that actually meant, we thought stealth was kind of World of Warcraft stealth. So you just turn invisible when you stealth. So we were improvising as we went along. And we were just fetching random PDF books off of the internet, etc., like free adventures from some website that had a list of them. And I want to say it was about like maybe level 5 or 6. I started thinking, oh, we could actually start having recurring villains, and we could, this random item that they found under a couch. This could actually be like a nice artifact that could have some. And that's when I started actually writing my own things and actually planning ahead, not like planning 10 levels ahead, because I don't think that's even helpful to try and do, but try and plan at least 2 or 3 levels ahead and have an idea of, oh, no, this is like the original villain is this one. Let me drop a hint here or a clue there. Basically it was our first campaign, and at the time we played 21 levels. So we, again, home brewing a lot of stuff. We actually allowed everybody to get to level 20, but also multi-class, one single level in another class. And we had a bunch of broken other things that we did. Yeah, I feel like I kind of got sidetracked on this question. Where were we going?
No, that's okay. That was, you pretty much nailed it there. So
okay.
I think that's pretty awesome that your home game turned into this other project. So I know your work is available for purchase, with all proceeds being donated to Doctors Without Borders, who provide independent, impartial medical care to people affected by things like conflict, disease, outbreaks, natural human disasters, anything like that. So I wanted to know what inspired your decision to donate the proceeds from your books to this charity.
Yeah, so there were 2 main things that sort of led me down that road. So first of all, as I said before, some of the adventures were random adventures from other people. And I contacted every author, and just to let them know, like, okay, I'm writing a book. I want to donate the profits for charity, because I didn't feel it was sort of correct to have profiting off other people's work. Even if I gave them credit, I didn't feel that was right. So that was one step. And all authors except for one, they said it was totally fine to use their adventure as long as I credit them. The author that refused, I had to rewrite the whole adventure, and then that chapter's villain I named after the authors, just as a memento for him.
Cool.
So that was the first reason, right? So some of the work wasn't entirely mine. I didn't feel like profiting off their work. The other reason, and this is more, let's say, philosophical one, I don't really need the money. I live, thank God, a good life, and there are a lot of people out there that need it way more than I do. And when I was publishing the books around the same time, that was when the war on Ukraine started, so the invasion by Russia. And I thought, okay, this is the perfect catalyst. It's fresh on everybody's mind, so it will also help, like people will donate more because they have the war in mind. And Doctors Without Borders were being deployed in Ukraine at the time, and I thought, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to help those people and sort of do my part for them. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, I agree. Doctors Without Borders is a wonderful organization, so I'm happy for your pick and very admirable. I'm happy to hear that from you. So next question is, what inspired the decisions? Oh no, I'm sorry, I just read that. But can you tell us about your upcoming, or not your upcoming project? It's out now. Tyranny of Dragons Reloaded. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So it is meant to be a companion book to the original Tyranny of Dragons campaign. So the first big campaign for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So there are a bunch of issues with that campaign. I'm not sure if you guys have played it already.
We haven't played it, but we're aware that it's kind of a rough dive.
Yeah, so there are a lot of issues there. So one of the big complaints is that it's a very railroady sort of campaign. But again, once you play it as a DM, you sort of understand that there's like this premise that players do need to like follow along. They need to go along with the DM and say, yeah, sure, let's chase after the bad guys. It sure makes sense. But not only that, but there are a lot of issues just based on balance, for example. So you can tell that the authors, they were writing this as they were writing the monster manual or something. And if I remember correctly, I read this some time ago, at some point they rewrote the monsters from the monster manual. They made them a lot stronger, but they sort of forgot to update the campaign. So what happens is that you have levels where, let's say you're like just the first level. The first level is pretty infamous. So you're a bunch of level 1 characters, and you go into this city that's being pillaged, and you're meant to have like 5 or 6 encounters with groups of 5 or 6 cultists all at the same time. And it's the sort of encounter that if you get one wrong roll, you die, right? And yeah, so there are a lot of levels like this that really are not balanced at all. They're not feasible for like a typical inexperienced party to actually be able to succeed through. So this companion book is meant to basically give you a bunch of help, you, the DM, a bunch of help in prepping these sessions. So it adds new levels in between some campaigns or in specific cities where there was not really anything to do from the book. You have side quests and stuff you can do there. It also gives you additional information about the NPCs, about the cities, new locations that you can explore. It gives you balance tips. So it says, okay, you should probably change this or remove these enemies or add something else because, you know, that might be difficult or too easy depending on the situation for a given group. It gives you a bunch of maps. So the subreddit, the Tyranny of Dragons subreddit, has an incredible amount of just amazing artwork and maps for any part of the campaign. So again, I contacted all authors of maps and I asked them, like, your map is amazing. Can I have this? I'm using it myself. Can I put it in a book? And they said, yeah, go right ahead. And again, pretty great if you're using a virtual tabletop to just have maps for at least for our table. We feel like it's a good thing. Again, results may vary, but it's very nice to just have different maps for different occasions. It makes every location more memorable, we feel. Yeah, it's basically just a collection of these sort of helpful things to help a DM go from level 1 to 15, because I think it's also one of the biggest campaigns that's been released for 5th edition, without having to prep so much and improvise so much and polishing all the rough edges that one may expect to find.
Oh, that sounds really great. It sounds kind of necessary too when you're playing along with the original adventure. So it sounds like you're doing great work. Where can the audience find your stuff?
The books are available on DM's Guild. I'm not sure if you guys can drop a link in the description of this video or not, but if you cannot, you can just search for Deicide or Tyranny of Dragons Reloaded on DM's Guild, and you should be able to find it. It's pay what you want, so whatever you want to donate, it goes to charity. If you don't have the means to donate, then you can just drop a 0 there and you get the adventure for free, try it out, and can leave some feedback if you want to. So that's up to you.
Yeah, that's great. I did see, if people wanted to, I did go to DM's Guild, I did check it out, and I did see that you were encouraging people to, if they wanted to, just grab the PDF and then move on to Doctors Without Borders and drop a donation there, which is very cool and admirable again. So
so that specific event has to do with the recent debacle by Wizards of the Coast with the OGL thing.
Oh yeah.
And there were a lot of people complaining at the time that they weren't going to buy any more Wizards of the Coast products because they lost trust in the company, which I get it. And so I thought, okay, like Wizards of the Coast does take a share of whatever money is like used in DM's Guild. So if people wanted to donate directly, I dropped the link there. And we sort of lose track of how much money has been earned by the project, which is, kind of sad, but at the same time, that means more money going to charity. So in the end, it's worth it, I think.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a misfortune. Definitely. Everybody was put in a little bit of a position when that happened. So it's understandable, but an unfortunate side effect. Well, thank you so much, David. We really appreciate having you on. It was great getting to talk to you and getting to learn a little bit more about your products and your books. So really appreciate having you on, and we hope we can talk to you again. Do you have anything else upcoming at the moment?
Yes. So we did Tyranny of Dragons, my table, and now we're moving on to Descent into Avernus, and we're going to play this as a tier 4 campaign. So we got to level 16 or something during campaign. And now we're going to do Descent into Avernus up to level 20, and we're going to basically mix a bit of Tiamat in there because she's stuck in Avernus as well. So my next plan is to basically just write a tier 4 version of Descent into Avernus, mix a little bit of the Alexandrian remix. Again, I'm not sure if you've heard of this, but it's basically a homebrew sort of remix of the campaign, where instead of, again, being this sort of railroady idea, it's more of a sandbox sort of approach, and you can decide where to go in Avernus, and there's always stuff to do wherever you want to go. So yeah, I want to basically do like this high level version, and that's the current plan. Again, who knows if it's all going to come to fruition? It always depends on a bunch of things. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Maybe in a few months, we'll have something else published.
Great. Well, I'll keep an eye out, and you can let us know if you put out anything else. We'd love to talk to you again. But other than that, we're gonna call it right there. So thanks again, David. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. The pleasure was all mine. And yeah, I hope to talk with you guys again one day.
We got Drakenstar news. What is it, Will?
Starseeker's Guide to Drakenstar, the backer kit is finally closed. No longer taking pre-orders. Thank you, everyone, for supporting it. We raised just enough money to get all this done, and I'm very proud of it. Can't wait to get it into your guys' hands. This last week and a half, I have been battle testing for hours and hours on end between all the starships and making tweaks and adjustments. We should have this thing finished when it comes to the writing and editing by the end of June. Hopefully, we'll be looking at the formatting and design done by the end of July, and production beginning in August. Very excited, and thank you guys again. Can't wait to give you guys more news as things develop.
Yeah, congratulations, Will, on getting that closed out, and good luck on the next upcoming stuff for you. We've got a new merch shop that is running in tandem with our old merch shop. So the old merch shop is still around, but you can find the new merch shop at babayagasyardsale.com.
Indeed, where fan of the show Dustin is the artist and curator and owner of the store, and he's been making some really killer Dungeoncast content on there. The Bahamut's Gym and a couple of the Demogorgon ones being my favorite. We have more coming in the works, but if you have not checked out these designs, I highly recommend you go check them out because they look super cool. Link is in the description. I've never been so excited about Dungeoncast merch before.
We need an ooze Roomba.
Absolutely. Anything Ooze related, I'm super down. I need to make some orders. I need to order some of these shirts and sport them on the show.
We need we need an ooze Roomba with a claymore like poking out of it. So one that can also is home defense.
Absolutely.
It cleans your house and stabs your cat.
Well, talk to Dustin, man.
Yeah.
See what it,
Maybe he'll hear this and it'll happen. Anyway, thank you to everybody who has been sending letters, emails. We are going to be reading those at the end of the show. So if you want to reach out, I believe it's 1784 Upland, California, 91786 for our P.O. box, but that is down in the description below. Do not go off of what I just said. And then you can go off of what I'm going to say for this. You can email us at thedungeoncast@gmail.com with some fan mail. We will read it on the show if it's appropriate. If it's inappropriate, I'll just look at it and giggle. And if you guys want to do that, we're also, as you know, reading YouTube comments, Apple Podcast reviews. All this stuff is really great. We like interacting with you guys, but the Apple Podcast reviews in particular help boost the show. The algorithm notices your love and will peddle it to others that may want to love the Dungeoncast as well, even though they don't know it yet.
Yeah. Also, feel free to send questions if you have questions for us, and if they are on topic, like I don't see any reason why we can't read and talk about, answer those really quickly.
Yeah. You guys don't know the future of what we're going to record, but
True.
if you had a question about something we said or blah, 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 YouTube comment is good, but email or, snail mail is fine too.
Yeah.
We'll read it. Anyway, we got
social
media plugs. What do we got going on in social media, Will?
We got Instagram, we got X, formerly known as Twitter, we got Threads, we got Mastodon. Links are all in the description. I have been a little bit more active on there lately, but whenever there's something pertinent, you guys will be seeing stuff on there.
Yep. And we've got Discord. So if you guys would like to join our Discord,
that's
you can
the big one.
Ask us in real time, more or less.
Yes.
We do get around.
That's where the community for the show in a big way lives, is on Discord. It's constantly awesome to see all the chatter and all the sharing and it's just the bonding, and us getting in there too in the mix is nice. And I would say that's the number one social media platform for the Dungeoncast is check out the Discord.
Yeah, it's more like a greater tabletop RPG sort of community. It kind of extends beyond the Dungeoncast. But,
It does.
We are on there and available, including Jake, your special guest Jake and Josh Freeland, who will answer questions. A lot of people will tag them for Super Quest Saga stuff sometimes, or FBAT stuff. So go check that stuff out. Are we missing anything? Is that the end of it?
No, I think that covers it.
Yeah,
really
man.
does.
All right. Well, we're gonna call it a game.
All right, we'll call it a game. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
The Dungeoncast.
Sorry, this is a tangent. You're going to need to cut it. But when in baseball, when you get on base, there's usually like a little celebration the team will do at each other.
Yeah.
And the one that the Dodgers are doing this year is the DBZ Fusion in honor of,
oh my God.
in honor of Akira Toriyama dying.
Ah.
It's pretty cool.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's sad.
it is sad, but it's also awesome.